guys, my name is Tahir. This is Inspired RC, and today we have the JLB J3 Speed on my bench, and today's video is going to be all about this RC car. Why I decided to buy it, what modifications I've done to it, and my thoughts about having it now for just under a year, and using it pretty much on a daily basis. So let's get started. So the car itself is a 110 scale RC ready to run car. So ready to run meaning it comes with your batteries, it comes with the electronics, it comes with the receiver, so it's all ready basically for you to charge the batteries and get it going. The car itself has a 120 amp ESC, and it also has a 3670 3200 kV motor, and it also has a metal steering servo which will do up to 21 kg. On top of all of that, it's got all metal gears, all metal drive shafts. So and it also has a bit of metal on the chassis underneath to keep that all straight. So why did I choose to buy this car? This was probably one of my first serious grade RC cars that I purchased when I was getting into the hobby itself, and the reasons why I purchased it was, one, it was a competitive price. So the price was around £200. I've just had a look. I did purchase this car from Banggood, and it was sent out from China. So I have just had a look on Banggood earlier on today, and they are still selling for around about £260. Now, the prices for these cars do fluctuate on Banggood. Banggood do carry out sales from time to time. So if you are interested in one of these and the price is a little high, just hang fire. I'm sure the price will come down. So with this car, as I said, it does come with the batteries, which was a big tick for me. It does come with a charger. As I was new to this hobby, I didn't have a charger, and I didn't have any batteries. So I didn't want to go out and purchase a car and then have to go out and buy batteries and chargers separate, because I really didn't know if I was going to enjoy it or not. So in my mind, the way I thought about this car was to it cost around £200. It came with everything that we needed. I would use it a few times. I'm sure it will be fun, but whether it would have been fun long term, i.e. with breakages and parts and things like that, really when you're getting into this hobby, you really want to, when you're starting off in this hobby, you want to purchase a car, have everything that you need to run it, and then really not have to spend any more money on this car. So you don't want to be breaking something every run or every other run, having to buy parts in, and then obviously the whole cost of this hobby is increasing. So guys, super car. I'm very happy I chose it. At the time when I was buying this car, the alternatives were the Armour Kraton 4S, and Traxxas had some 4S vehicles as well. The price of these cars were around double what this one was costing, and I did have a look at reviews, and there were some good reviews, some bad reviews. It just depended on how you were running the car. So if you were really beating on it, you did see breakages, but you see breakages in Armours and you see breakages in Traxxas as well. So it's nothing new. So they're the reasons why I did purchase this car. And now we'll talk about the modifications that I have done to this car. Now you can see it has got some bigger wheels on there, so I'll just quickly show you. I'll spin it around. Guys, super quality radio. I mean, it is cheap, but it does the job, and it's not let me down. So really happy with the radio it comes with as well. So you can see there, I've got a different set of wheels on there now. Let's push it back so you can see it. There you go. So originally this car came with these wheels. Now I didn't like the look of these wheels. They are gold and they look, obviously they look plasticky. You can tell that they are plasticky, and they resemble more of a toy wheel to me rather than something serious. And it hasn't got a lot of grip with the thread that it's got, and you do see these tires really balloon up. This car is really overpowered for what it is, and if you are gunning it, you will see these tires will balloon up a lot. And when these tires are ballooned up, they become like discs, and the car itself does become uncontrollable at high speeds. So my main reason for changing these was, one was the thread, and the other was the look of these wheels. I didn't like the look of them, so I did. These wheels I've got on here now, they are the ZD Racing 1/8 scale tires, and they did come pre-glued. They cost around £30. I ordered them off eBay. They were shipped out from China, so they did take up to about 3 weeks for them to come. But yeah, so once I purchased these wheels, I put them straight on there, and it's the way these wheels are designed. I'll just quickly show you one. I have actually bought a spare set of these as well. So the way that they're designed, they're deep dish. So what happens is these tires on this car makes the car wider, so it makes the stance wider, so it gives it more stability when you're out running as well. And with that wider stance, it just looks better for me. So they're the wheels that I bought. Now these wheels have been really good for me. When I did originally purchase the wheels, it was my fault. I probably didn't tighten one of the screws enough, and what resulted in is, as I said, this car is overpowered and it's rounded off the hex inside. So I can just quickly show you there. It's rounded off the hex inside. Now that only happened to one of these wheels. Another issue that I did have with this car when I did originally get it is, obviously because I had to take the nuts off to put the new wheels on there, I just tightened the nuts back up, and I didn't realise, because I was new to the hobby, that you would need to put some thread locker on there to stop these nuts coming off. And probably in the first or second run, when I was gunning it in fields, the wheel did come off, and luckily, I don't know how it was amazing, I did end up finding that nut, and because I didn't have any spares at that time as well, so I did manage to find that nut, and straight away I put some thread locker on there. So I did it to all 4 wheels, not had any issues with any wheels falling off, any nuts backing out or anything like that. So really happy with these wheels, guys, and if you are going to get this car, I do suggest you change the wheels, go for something like this. It changes the look of the car, and it makes it more stable as well, with it being a wider stance. Okay, so I'll quickly show you. So this is a year of owning this car. This is what the body looks like. So I do admit, the stickers, I didn't originally put these stickers straight on there. I did like the way the car looked without any stickers on there, but lately, because I did come across the stickers again, I've put them back on again, so you can see that the stickers are still unmarked. But you do see on the top, I have scraped the top along concrete. I do have some issues at the back, so I'll quickly show you that. I do have some issues at the back. That again was my fault, not the fault of the car. Straight away, one of the problems I did have was I did end up breaking the spoiler, and I've seen that very commonly. I've seen loads of videos where people are driving these cars without any spoilers, or I've actually broken it, and it does tend to break within the first couple of times you hit it. Really, it is a weak point on the car, so I have modified my spoiler, and touch wood, since the modification I've not had any issues with it. I have done some other bits at the back there as well. So at the front here, the car itself has been perfect. I have been running the JLB 4000 milliamp 3S battery that comes with the car. I have been using this battery. Now this battery does probably give you around about 15 minutes of runtime, which isn't a lot, but if you did want more, you just have to go for a bigger size battery basically. So this car will take 4S, but this is a 3S, and this thing is a beast on 3S. I don't think I've ever tried it on 4S. I've not had the need to. So that's the battery that I've been using on this car, and it's got the Dean's connector straight across. Everything else has been really good on this. So the steering's been good on this. I've not had any issues with any steering. The ESC, we'll come back to the ESC. The motor's been really good for me. Although this motor doesn't come with a fan, and if you are running bigger batteries on this car, then you really need to add some kind of cooling into there. As I said, I've only been running it on the battery that's provided, and I tend to run it for about 15-20 minutes when we are running it, so it doesn't overheat. I tend to just stop before that happens, but you will get issues with overheating, so you may need to put a fan onto there. So the ESC itself has been really good. It's been working perfectly fine for me. The only issue that I've had, and I've seen this countless of times as well in loads of YouTubers posting it online, the ESC does glitch when you're trying to reverse and when you're going back into forward. So if you're going between forward and reverse, sometimes you might hit reverse and it'll do it, sometimes it may not, and then you have to do it a couple of times and it's doing it. I think this is a common issue with these JLB J3 speeds. Now, it's not a big problem if you are aware of it. Just make sure that there's no one stood behind the car when you are reversing it, because it sometimes can do it and you're thinking that it's not working, it's a controller, so you might press it a bit harder and then it does catch and then it'll just go flying backwards. So just be careful when you are reversing this car. That is an issue that I've experienced a lot, and obviously I've got used to it, so I'm aware of it, so I'll make sure that no one's around when I'm reversing. So yeah, the ESC, other than that issue there, the ESC has been perfectly fine. I have no issues. The shocks have been good for me themselves, but these screws that are here and these nuts do tend to back out when you are constantly bashing. So what I did do is, they do back out and they do bend as well. So I'll quickly see if I can show you. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but this one on this side here is got a bend in it. That one is straight. Now, bend, as long as it's holding the shock, it's fine. As long as the nut is on the end, it's fine. Now, what I did do with these is I took all the nuts off and I did put Loctite onto them all after the first one dropped off. So since then I've not had any issues with that, but I do systematically come and just check on these every 2 or 3 runs, make sure that you don't lose any of these nuts. They are quite small and not everyone does have spares. So other than that, the bumper on the front has been amazing. This thing has taken so many nosedives, so many flips. It's taken a lot of abuse. It has been my daily car that I've been using during lockdown, and we did have had a good stint of good weather where it was dry, so we were out every day with it and we were jumping it. I must have ran probably close to 50 packs through this car now in the time that I've had it, maybe even more. So I really have used this car thoroughly. And this bumper has taken some really hard hits as well. I have been shocked with how this bumper has lasted. I didn't expect it to last that long. So it does come with the lights, which was a bonus. I did like the fact that it came with some lights on there as well. When it is one of the first cars, you want a car for your first car. You want something that isn't too expensive, but also puts a smile on your face. So this car with them wheels that I changed on there, and the colour, I love the blue colour anyway, and I love all these arms in blue as well, so I liked all of that. I just didn't like the wheels that I came with, which I did change straight away. So bumper's been really good, shocks have been good as well, arms have been good. I've had no issues with them. I have gone around and put some hot glue in places, in strategic places where I may have, there may have been some stress. So what I'll do is I'll get you a bit closer. You can see just in that wheel there. I'll get my pointer just about. So in this wheel here, you can see I've just gone around where these knuckles are in hot glue, just to save it. I have seen some videos where people have cracked these knuckles as well, so I've just gone around all 4 of these sides with hot glue. Touch wood, not had any issues with that. Now you can also see I've got some glue in these ZD wheels as well, just as a precaution really. I've not broken any of these ZD wheels yet, but what I have done is I've added glue. You can see just the insides there. I just filled up any cavities around the center hex, and then just at the end there where it's actually attached to the wheel itself, I've added some extra glue there. Now I've done them to all 4 wheels again. Whether it's helped or not, I'm not too sure, but all I can tell you is I've not broken any of these wheels, and I have seen people break these wheels as well. So if you've got the time, just do it. So I've done that on all the wheels, and I've done that on all the knuckles as well. And then what I'll do is I'll spin the car around. I'll just put you back. Let's bring you back here again, and I'll spin the car on, and I'll show you the rear of the car now. What I'll do is I'll just move this box out of the way so it's a bit clearer for you to see. Okay, that's better, isn't it? Okay. So, the rear of the car. Now you can see straight away there, I have got a long bar that I'm using as my wheelie bar. This is the original wheelie bar. Now, the problems that I was having with this wheelie bar is now coming out this way, coming down this way. Originally, it was coming down here like this. It was basically flipped over, and it was coming down here like this, and it had these 2 wheels on the end of it. Now that, for me, what was happening is, as soon as the front tires, this car is a wheelie machine, I said it's overpowered, so as soon as you just tap the controller, the wheels will start coming up. When the wheels came up, there wasn't a lot of distance between the wheels coming up and the wheelie bar touching the ground, and what was happening is it would just sit on the wheelie bar. It would jump onto this wheelie bar, and then I know the wheelie bar only has 2 wheels, but when these 2 wheels are quite close, it acts as 1 wheel. So it's literally, you've got a full car sat on 1 wheel trying to keep steady, and then what will happen is it will start cartwheeling and all sorts, and that's when you're going to get some damage. So what I did with that then is, I'll show you. So I'll just spin it around. I'll just get some light over here. Okay, so what I have done is, now I've got this wheelie bar. I undid it from where it was coming underneath the light bar that's there. That's the light bar there. It was coming out underneath that light bar, and it was coming out to about here. So it's just curving this way. So I undid it from the spoiler brace there, and I spun it around, and where I could put some screws back in, so you can just see there I've got a screw there. and there's another one here, I think it is there. There's another one there. Put them 2 screws in, and then I just reinforced it with some zip ties as well. So I've got one there, and then I've got another one up here as well. So I reinforced it with some zip ties just to give it some extra protection. Now when you are bashing this car, it does tend to land, if you are landing on its back, it does tend to land on the wheelie bar, so the wheelie bar does take a brunt of it. Again, I've seen people break the wheelie bars and this whole rear brace as well. So the rear brace itself, what I've done with that, I'll quickly show you. So the rear brace, you can see there, I've got some zip ties on that as well to the shock tower. You see there, done another one on that side, and I've got one down here going across there. I've got the same on the other side. So the purposes of that is to make sure that this rear brace stays attached to the center tower, and when it does get any bangs or knocks, the whole pressure isn't just on the screws that are holding this brace on, and the zip ties are also helping out. Again guys, I've not broken one, so I think that might be a solution for your breakages on that side there. Another thing I've done, if you just look down here, I just added some glue here as well for where the drive shafts, sorry, not the drive shafts, the steering rods, I think they are, I'm not quite sure what that one's called, but that rod there is attached here, and this part here was just open. It was just a couple of pieces of plastic in there, so I've just reinforced that. Done the same on the other side as well. Whether that's helped or not, I'm not sure. Right, so again, you can see there with the knuckles, I've just added some hot glue there on the inside of the wheels as well. I've just added some hot glue. Right, so one big issue that I've had with this car is I have, within the first or second run, I did break this spoiler, and this spoiler broke just at this point here. So what I did was I tried to repair it and put screws in and put plates in the original spoiler, and eventually it just kept on moving. So I gave up on that idea and I just purchased another one. The only reason why I repaired it is it just takes so long for any parts for these cars to arrive from China. But I have looked on eBay lately, and there are some people in the UK selling parts for these cars now. So with them guys selling these parts, you will get them a lot quicker. So you can keep the fun factor going for longer basically. So what I've done here guys, and I think this is a must do mod if you are going to be buying this car, is in this section here I've just added some hot glue at the back here, and on the opposite side of this plate as well, on the opposite side I've added some hot glue in there, and that then spreads the stress of this spoiler being caught on where it attaches this bracket here. So again guys, since I've done that, I told you I've broke the first one within 1 or 2 runs. I've used a good 50 or 60 packs in this car. I've not broken this spoiler now. So guys, that's a must do mod. Now with this wheelie bar coming out up here, what I also wanted to have is I wanted to spread the wheels out further. Now I did look online to see if I could buy maybe an armor one and stick it on, or something similar, and it was good. You could do it. It would have been a bit difficult, and this way I had some of this already in my garage, and I had loads of nuts. And so what I decided is I had 2 nuts that fits perfectly inside here, so I've put 2 nuts inside, and then I've just put nuts on each side so that holds that bar against there. And then these wheels, what I've done is I've got 1 nut on the inside. I'll show you on this one, it's a bit easier because I'm right next to it, and I've got 1 nut on the other side. Now these 2 nuts have got some Loctite on there so they don't come back out basically. Now these are the wheels I've got on here are the actually original wheels that have come with this car. So I utilized its own wheels, and with this modification guys, Now what happens is when the car's up on its hind legs, it has to really travel up quite high for it to jump onto its wheelie bar. So when it is on its wheelie bar, there's more of a chance that the wheelie bar will be touching and the back wheels will be touching. That will make it more stable and give you longer wheelies and won't cartwheel and things like that. Now this, when it does go onto its hind legs and it's not sorry, it's sat on its wheelie bar and not on the wheels, on the original car wheels itself, because these wheels are now spread out, it gives it a bit more stability when you are doing the wheelies. So again, it won't be doing all sorts of things, and you won't be doing cartwheels because you can't get the wheelies right. So guys, that's my must-do mod, I think, for this car. So one is flip your wheelie bar over and try to find some way of spreading the wheels out further, so you can get it more stable when you are doing wheelies. And the second thing is, guys, make sure you put some hot glue or some araldites or something in this cavity here where the rear spoiler is attached to the bracket. Okay, make sure you definitely put something into there. Put something on the other side as well. That then will stay intact, sorry. Now another issue that I did have, you can see there, that's where the rear skid plate goes, and I did break that within the first 2 or 3 runs. I've not bothered replacing it. It's just a piece of plastic, so I've left that as it is. Another issue that I did have, just show you in here, this LED light here on this side, it's a red LED light. This did stop working. It's a very simple fix, guys, just 2 screws, take that off. The LED itself is just hot glued in place, so you just take that LED out. Using a soldering iron, just put another LED onto that wire, and honky-dory, no issues with that one as well, so I had to change that one. Now I may have pulled on that wire when I was working on the car, maybe that's how I broke it, because it's not, none of the rest of the LEDs are broken because of bashing. So guys, I think them LED lights are quite durable as well, and they're very enjoyable, and it's a reason why since this car, every car I've had, I wanted to put LED lights onto it, because it does increase the fun factor, and you can run them till late, then till it does really go dark. So they're the modifications, guys, that I've done to this car. What other issues have I had with this car? Guys, I've not had any other issues, and you know what, this car, I wasn't expecting it to be durable, but it has been durable, and it's taken a lot of punishment, and I'm really happy with this purchase. Now I do now run larger cars, so I do like to run the 1/6 scales, 1/5 scale cars nowadays. So this now I've given over to my 12-year-old son. With it being a 3S truck, it's a good starting point. He's had a few 2S trucks in the past, and he's enjoyed them, and so I think he's ready for that now. So I said he's only 12, so he can run with this. Now the only issue that I would say you're gonna have with this car is it is really overpowered. So for my son to run this car, I've got it turned down to 30%. Now even at 30%, this car is still wheeling, but it's not as crazy manic as it is when it's on full power. So with the car wheeling, he absolutely loves driving it. He loves getting it back on its wheels as well. And now with that wheelie bar giving it more stability when it is on its wheels, he is able to run his wheelies for a bit longer. So yeah, he absolutely adores this car. I loved it when I was using this, and I said I've been using it during lockdown on a daily basis, every day without fail. You do only get around 15 minutes of runtime with the battery that's provided, but what I would say is if you do want a longer runtime, then you need to go and get a larger battery. You can put a 4S in this car, but you don't need to. I think the 3S is plenty sufficient for this car. So yeah guys, what else? I don't think I've done much else to it. Only gripes really is the Dean's connector that it comes with. They do tend to overheat and can melt. These ends can melt, or you know, when you have it connected to the battery, both these connectors, when they connect together and they do get really hot, they actually get stuck together. So that is an issue that I've had with it. I mean, it's a very simple fix. You can just snip this off and put some XT60s or XT90s, whatever batteries you run in, you can put them connectors straight onto it. But electronics wise, I've had no issues. I said I've nearly had this for a year and I've given it some abuse. Electronically, this has been sound. And the only other issue that I've had with this car, you can see, I'll just get it on its side. You can see the front shock tower is leaning backwards. Now, you don't realize when you've done this, but you do when you come to putting the body back on. These body posts here don't actually line up correctly with the holes, but there's a lot of flex in there, so I can just push them straight through. I probably bent this front shock tower probably earlier on. Since then I've kept an eye on it, and I have bashed it. So I don't think it's bent any more than when it originally bent. So that's been good. The back shock tower has been alright, I think. See, it's probably just bending on the front a little bit. Yeah, you can just see there. It's got a slight board of leaning forwards. Again, that's been perfectly fine. Now you can just replace the shock towers. I did think at the time, if I did have any issues with these shock towers, that I might just buy another set of shock towers and add them to this, so double the width of the shock tower, giving it more strength. But guys, I've been bashing it, and that's the worst that's happened. It's just bent backwards a bit. So again, another I don't think it's an issue that you need to really worry about until you actually do really bend it or break it. Okay guys, I'm just going to quickly show you the underside of this car as well. We've been talking all about everything above this car, but the underside as well we forgot to mention. So guys, what I'll do is I'll just put it on this side. It's just easier. That's better, isn't it? Just make sure you can see it. Bring it a bit closer. Okay. So this is the underside of this car. Now that is a year of bashing. So the only places where I have managed to grind something away is on the front bumper, and this bumper at the front is actually plastic. You see there? It's actually plastic, so this isn't a big deal. I don't think it's very expensive to replace as well, but this bumper, as I said earlier on, has been superb for me. It's taken a lot of hits. That's the only place really I have actually grind the paint away, and there's a few scratches just here as well. So other than that, this plate has been superb, guys. Look, all the screw heads are still intact. So what I do is, we do run this car on grass a lot, and when you run it on grass you do get a lot of mud build up, and what I tend to do is I don't actually clean the underside of this car, so we just keep the top of it clean. And what happens is, over time this mud just builds up in layers and layers and layers, and this layers actually protect these screw heads underneath from grinding away, because it's protecting the metal plate. So the metal plate is still intact, so the screw heads are still below the metal plate, so you don't grind any of them away. Then you can actually access these screw heads. Maybe just at the front here you're starting to get some kind of grinding away. What I might do there is I might just put some duct tape over it, just to give it some extra protection. Now that I have cleaned it, as I said, I don't normally clean this. I've only cleaned it for this video. Just over here, just on this side, you can see I've used some different screws. I did have an issue with the rear diff. I did actually break a screw head that holds the pinion for the rear reduction gear, and the pinion that the screw head that broke was inside the diff, the rear diff, so I had to remove the rear diff. And when you do start this hobby new, you don't, when I did start the hobby new, I didn't buy any specialized tools. I just tried to use what I had in my own toolkit. And obviously you do tend to have a set of Allen keys, which are just the cheap sets that you can get from anywhere local. So I try to repair this car using them sets of Allen keys. And what happened with them sets, because they're cheap, they do end up rounding off. If you don't get a good grip in that, you don't get a good turn inside, you do end up rounding off the hexes on the screws, and then when that happens you do struggle trying to get these out. And I did, guys, I did struggle. But when I did remove them, I did replace them with just normal Phillips head screws, because I thought Phillips heads are a lot easier to take out. So yeah, I did that on these rear ones here. But now that I have been in this hobby for a little while now, I have invested in some better tools. So even something like this here, this is like a 4-in-1 tool. It's got 4 separate heads that you can put onto it. Cost between £5 and £10. But guys, this thing here does work, and it won't strip any screws. You can get just a set of 4 normal screw heads, 4 screwdrivers with the different sizes as well. Again, similar kind of price, but definitely worth an investment, guys. £5 or £10 will save you a lot of headache afterwards trying to get out screws that have been rounded off. So guys, that's my thoughts on this JLB J3 Speed. I'll just quickly show you the lid. I did show you the top here, and inside what kind of damage I've received on it. So just where the shock towers meet the body there, I've just had a bit of scraping. Nothing's pierced it, it's just scraped inside. Probably where the wire, the power lead from the ESC is probably just catching the inside of the lid there. At the back here, this was completely my fault. As I said before, I did try and repair and keep the original spoiler that I did break and try to make amend on it, but it meant that I did have some screws that are sticking out, and what was happening is they were just digging in to the body. You see it there, and they actually did pierce the body there. But had I not done that, this body would still be intact. So all I've done is a bit of duct tape underneath it just to give it some added protection, that's all. But other than that, guys, this body's been good as well. It's I don't think it's any thicker than a normal body that you do get, but it has done me well. But I mean, if you wanted to reinforce this body, you can do. Just put some dry lining tape in there, maybe some kind of adhesive, maybe shoe glue or some Gorilla Glue or Evo stick. Just depends on what you've got lying about that you want to use in there. But for me, it's been good. This car does come in a different style body as well. It's a white body. I did like the look of that body, and I did think to myself at the time, is if I did ever wanted to change the body, then I would go for the white one as well. But I do like the blue, and I like the white as well, so it didn't really bother me much having the blue body as well. So guys, if you are thinking of getting into the hobby, I don't think you would do too wrong if you bought yourself one of these. And once your look of the hobby does increase, then you can just start going bigger and faster. So yeah, guys, that's the JLB J3 Speed and my thoughts on it. So guys, I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you found it useful in making your decision if you are thinking of getting one of these. And if you have got one of these, try and go ahead and do the spoiler mod and also the wheelie bar mod as well. Them two things themselves will help a lot in keeping this car intact and keep it running. What you want to be doing is just being able to run this on a day-to-day basis, so whenever you finish with it, you don't want to break it, so it's ready for the next time. And guys, this car's not let me down. My only gripe about this car is the Dean's connector that they use on the ESC, and the fact that if you do need any of these parts, at the time I purchased it, I had to wait for it to come from China, so it did take a long time. That meant a good 3-4 weeks of non-running. And when you're in the UK, you don't get a lot of good weather, so when you do have good weather, you want to have a running car that you can take out. So guys, Please like, subscribe, share, and watch out for future reviews. I have got some other Banggood specials that my son does run, and there are some 2S, namely the 12848, I think it was it. I'm not too sure on that model number. And then we've got the 959B as well, and we've got the newer one from WL Toys, 144001, I think it is. So yeah, I'm going to be reviewing all of these. I've had all of these for around a year, so I have been bashing on them, beating on them. So I will tell you my thoughts and what modifications I've done to them as well during the time I've had them. So guys, it's been a pleasure, and thank you for watching. Till the next time, see ya.